Hello and welcome. We are so excited to be doing our first Facebook Live as the Fundraising School. I'm Liz Jackson, one of the Associate Directors here at the school. And today we just wanted to take some time to chat through a bit of our certificate in Current Affairs Fundraising. So what better way to do that than to hear directly from participants that took that certificate over the summer and can share with us the great takeaways that they had when they left those courses. So I have joining me today Dr. Torie Jackson, who is VP of Institutional Advancement with West Virginia University. And I have Mr. Bill Lutz, who is the Executive Director of the New Path. So I am just going to invite them to introduce themselves and share a bit about their role in the organization. So Torie, do you want to start us off with an introduction?
Sure. I actually do serve as Vice President of Institutional Advancement at West Virginia University at Parkersburg. So I'll make sure I put that Parkersburg on there. It makes a big difference. And I also have the distinct privilege of being the President and CEO of our college's foundation. So we are a hybrid school in West Virginia. Hybrid being we offer both community and technical programs, and we also are part of the university system. So we have associate and baccalaureate degrees and a lot of certificate degrees. So we help people in every phase of their education, even have a very strong early college program. So we start in high school, and it's really fabulous. And I have learned so much in these courses. You know, I entered this job a little apprehensive, thinking, I was the kind of person who I had to sell those candy bars when I was in high school to go on a trip, and I would ask my dad to buy them all because I didn't want to go say, hey, will you give me $1 for this candy bar? And so I knew in the back of my mind, you're going to have to ask people for money. Can you do that? And it might have been just because I came from humble upbringing, but I thought I would have problems until I started taking classes with the Lilly School of Philanthropy. And I realized I'm giving people a privilege when I give them an opportunity to share and to donate in the way that they want to. So if I don't ask them, then I'm taking opportunity from them. So it's been a valuable, valuable experience, and I'm very thankful for what I have learned.
Thank you so much, Torie. Bill, would you like to introduce yourself and share a bit about your role?
Yeah, sure. Good afternoon, Liz. My name is Bill Lutz. I'm the Executive Director of New Path. We are a small faith-based nonprofit organization located in Tip City, Ohio, which is just north of Dayton, but we have 7 locations throughout West Central Ohio. We have food pantries. We provide medical equipment to families in need. We help folks get caught up on back utility and rent payments. We have retail stores where we offer items for sale at reduced prices. And so we touch the lives of a lot of folks that have been impacted by poverty. And that's what we do. And like Torie said, we give opportunities for folks to be a part of our mission, and to be a part of the team to help improve the lives of those folks that we see every day right here in Miami County, Ohio.
Wow, thank you so much, Bill. Thank you both for being here with us today. And we definitely want to dive into talking about the certificate. But first, I just want to open with, what brought Fundraising School and the Lilly Family School of Philanthropy really stood out to you, or made you decide this is the one I need to do?
Well, for me, it was a lot about reputation. And I was advised by a colleague to check it out because they said, you probably just need a little bit of training so you feel a little more comfortable in your role. And they were absolutely right. And you were recommended. And I love to Google. It's just what I do. So I checked out lots of different places, and I didn't hear anything negative ever about your program. And I just knew that it was top notch. So it's why I was interested.
My first entrance into the program was through the Certificate of Nonprofit Executive Leadership Program that the Fundraising School co-sponsors with the School of Public and Environmental Affairs over there. And I went through that program, and I enjoyed every minute of it. And I was able to learn real tactics on how to be a better nonprofit executive director, brought them back here to my organization. And after I left, it was like, I need to do a better job of learning some of the techniques of fundraising. So I've started to take a lot of the classes from the fundraising school, including the certificate program that just basically ended up a couple months ago. And I've enjoyed every moment of it. The 2 big takeaways is, first of all, there are high quality people from around the country that participate, folks just like Torie, that you get to know and you get to meet and you get to have conversations with. And second of all, the classroom experience is always amazing. The instructors that we get to learn from, Kathy Batchatter comes to mind, Bill Stansikevich comes to mind. They're teachers, but they want to engage you in the learning process. So they're always asking questions, and they're always digging deeper in our own experiences on how we can make sense of what we're learning.
And I just want to add to that too, Bill. I get to talk to people who deal with not just education. So that makes a difference for me. People who run a zoo, people who run a symphony, people who, as you say, clothe the naked and feed the hungry. I have to say that correctly. So you look at things from such a different perspective. And in that classroom, we have the opportunity to not only learn the tools, but to see it through so many different lenses, because it's not just the higher education lens or the community service lens. It's through so many different ones. And it makes it a really rich discussion and a learning opportunity.
Yeah, I love that. We often hear that peer-to-peer learning experience, and then guided by the practical application and the knowledgeable faculty is really what brings people to us. So that's exciting to hear from both of you. So because that peer-to-peer piece was so important to you, and I know a lot of people are really nervous about online learning and if they're going to still experience that camaraderie and that peer-to-peer learning. So could you speak a bit to the certificate in Current Affairs Fundraising, which is a online virtual course, and how you felt about, did you feel connected in your courses? Did you feel like you had the opportunity to learn from your peers during those courses?
Right. So we took, I think 5 courses, and you had to choose your days, and randomly there were several people who you would end up in the same course with. So you saw a familiar face every time you logged in. They asked you to have your video on, which is key. It's key that we still be able to see each other, even though we are in different environments. And then they have the breakout rooms. Those are really important, because not only are you listening to someone, but now you had to have that kind of listening where you're actually going to apply it. So you have to be attentive. And that's important in a Zoom world where we can become a little disenchanted with just another Zoom. So you're in this group and suddenly there's only 6 of you and you have to apply what they just taught you. That makes a difference.
Yeah, I had much the same experience. For me, this was kind of like the first time I've ever done online learning in this type of environment. I know the fundraising school has online programs, but I've never done one. So this was my first one. And Torie's right. You sign up for the dates and you see familiar faces throughout the program, and you start, you can send emails to folks and you get to know them, and it made it a lot more welcoming. And the second thing is exactly what Torie said about the breakout rooms. You get to spend, I think there were like 3 breakout sessions per class. And so it ends up being basically a half hour with 3 or 4 other people to help apply the stuff that you've learned. Online learning could have been a real difficult challenge, but it turned out to be a real rewarding experience. And I really looked forward to those 3 hours a month where I could, shut the office door, sit in my chair and learn from other people. It was something I looked forward to.
I just love hearing that, because we worked so hard to structure those sessions to make sure that they were engaging and felt real and people felt connected. So just hearing you two say those comments makes me so happy that that is coming across and you're really experiencing that. So in terms of content, there is, again, 5 courses. Each course is 3 hours, as you've already noted. What are some specific things that you were able to take away, or have you been able to implement any of the tools that you got from that certificate in your everyday work lives?
So one of the classes talks about your board of directors and how important they are now more than ever. And I recently had a training session with my board of directors at my institution, and they've never been trained. I have a lot of new members, and they really don't know what they're in for. They're not even sure what their committee responsibilities are. So we've developed responsibilities. We've shared that with them. And we had a guest speaker, and it was Dr. Bill Stanjakevich, who came in a Zoom classroom of my board of directors, and he taught them based on his recent research on board engagement. And I told him the other day, I sent him a message to get his address, and I said, it was like I was the preacher and you were the evangelist, and you could come in and give them that message that I couldn't, say, boards should give, boards should really be active, and they should help, and they should take the mission of your organization and they should carry it forward. And everyone they come in contact with should know what you do because it's important to them. And I'm not sure that they've all embraced that up until this point, but it was so nice for someone besides me to be able to deliver that message to them. And without that course, I wouldn't have known that I was supposed to do that.
The class that I really enjoyed was Nathan Hand, who talked about online fundraising, or digital fundraising, I think is probably the more appropriate term. And I came up with a laundry list of things to think about after Nathan's presentation. And, we began to implement some of those things. Some of those things were a little harder than others, but, just putting out some better messaging on our online and our social media has made a huge difference. Practically, we've seen online donations to our organization basically double within the last 6 months. So, yeah, we're seeing some real practical application from the stuff that we learned.
That's amazing. And Torie, you bring up a great point, because in addition to our courses that we offer publicly, we do custom training as well. So Bill coming in and speaking directly to your board, that's something that we offer. We work with partners all over to offer that virtually currently, or we can still do in person, limited in person. So I'm glad you mentioned that. And Bill, to have your online donations double in 6 months, that is amazing. Yeah, that is exciting to share. Thank you for sharing that with us. So as we think about moving into our new year and 2021, and so is there anything you want to share with other fundraisers that might be watching this, tips or things that you're thinking about for 2021, that it could be things that you've gotten from our courses, or just things that you're thinking that you've learned over the last year that you're planning to implement?
Bill, you can go first this time.
Okay.
Sure. While you guys are thinking, I'm actually also going to invite, whoever's watching, if you want to put comments or questions, we can start opening up to those public questions as well.
I think the thing that I'm learning and I'm hearing is that people are beginning to live in an environment where they want to make a difference in people's lives. This has been such a difficult year for everybody. And people are going to want tangible ways in which they can improve the lives of their friends and their neighbors, or certain groups that may live somewhere else, either across the country or across the world. And one of the most tangible ways people can do that is through philanthropy. And, the thing that I've learned is that you don't get because you don't ask, but more than that, you're giving people an opportunity to do something that they've never been able to do before. And by sharing our stories of the good work we do, whether it's a food pantry or whether it's a college or whether it's a zoo or whatever, you're opening up a whole new set of doors for folks to see the world in a different way and giving them a real tangible way to make a difference in their world. And people want to do that now more than they ever have.
Yeah, I definitely concur with that statement. People have felt so isolated for so long that they need good things, especially, depression can really increase during the holidays. So we don't want people to come out of that season and then not be able to see that there's fruit on the other side, that the vine is not withered up, that there's so many opportunities for them to take their passions and to give. And I don't care if they're given $10 or $1,000, whatever they can give that makes a difference to them and to others. They need to see, as you said, tangible items, whether it's so I donate to this scholarship and this is the student that I'm helping, or that this scholarship has been able to help 60 students this year, or that this is the type of meal that we give to people who don't have food, and when they come into our facility, this is what we can provide to them. It makes a difference, and people are not going to stop giving no matter what the economy is. There are always people who are going to give because that's who we are as people. We need to share. And so I think another thing that's been really valuable in responsive fundraising and all of that is that you learn that in a recession, in any time in giving, there's still giving. And the economy doesn't make it stop. And so we need to, as fundraisers, always remember that we're still giving people, and I know I've said it before, but it really makes a difference. We're giving them the opportunity to experience the joy of giving. I think you guys really hit that message home with us. But once we embrace it, then we can share it with so many other people. And it gives us a reason to smile no matter what else is going on, because we know that we get to do good work every day. But we only get to do that if we have a lot of partners who help us do it.
That is excellent advice and a great example of why peer-to-peer learning is so important, because you both said that so eloquently. You could probably both be faculty. So thank you for sharing that. And I love that the joy of giving is one of the big takeaways that you have gotten from our courses, because that is certainly something that we stress in every training, every course that we do. So it looks like we do not have further questions. So I'm just going to end with an invitation for anyone watching to check out the upcoming certificate in Current Affairs Fundraising. It will be starting on January 11th. That registration is currently open, and you can read all about the 5 course topics, which are 5 brand new course topics. So current affairs, very current. And you can check those out on our website, which is philanthropy.iupui.edu/the fundraising school. So thanks everyone so much for joining. Thank you to Torie. Thank you for Bill. You're both just wonderful to chat with. So have a great weekend all.